Welcome to the Flynn Effect podcast, where we dive deep into all things culture, industry news, and history, all with the goal of helping our clients to perform better.
All right, so
We're good to go.
Yeah, it's official, Bob. I've taken over the podcast.
I know.
Just
Here
kidding.
we are.
Just kidding. So this is a special edition today. It is the morning after the Super Bowl. Clearly, both of our teams did really well this season.
Hey, we made the playoffs, and that is a rarity for my team, at least.
Yeah. My team likes to make the playoffs.
Yes.
They just don't go anywhere in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we're used
to
it.
For sure. And it ended up with another Patriots Super Bowl,
Yeah.
which, of course, living in Western New York, and we're both in family of Bills fans, there was not a soul that I saw rooting for the Patriots other than Chris and Katie Flynn. So apologies to them, but we're not upset.
No, not
we're
at
not
all.
upset at all.
Not at all. Drake May kind of choked there.
Yeah,
so
good job, Seahawks. Pretty boring game, though.
Yeah. Overall, pretty boring game. How'd you feel about halftime?
I mean, it was entertaining. I mean, that's what it usually is. You know, I would say it's generally like 50-50 that I like the musical act and that it's, but I'm also of the opinion that not everything has to be catered to me specifically. And so, I mean, it was entertaining. It kept my attention, and, it's always fun trying to pick out all the different like cameos that happen in that. Cause even, in there, wait, was that Ricky Martin?
Yeah. Well, I was like, Cardi B.
Yeah.
As soon as she
is that
came
Pedro
on.
Pascal just sitting in the background? And so there were some interesting things there. Bad Bunny, I don't really know much of his music. Again, I think I mentioned to you, like, my first exposure to him was actually when he was in WWE as a wrestler.
Yep.
But other than that, I thought it was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I thought it was really nice from I didn't understand, I don't speak Spanish, unfortunately, but still could understand the message of what was going on, and it was really upbeat. My favorite part was actually, I was very impressed by the stage setup. Yeah. And I'm like, how did they do this in 15 minutes? And then I watched the videos afterwards.
All the videos of the trees? The trees were people?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's brilliant. Because I just imagined all these stagehands just dragging like just pallets of trees or something. And that was
imagine you're
hysterical
telling
to
your
see.
friends, I'm going to be in the Super Bowl halftime. What are you? I'm a bush.
I'm a bush. I'm hiding in the middle of a bush. I just have to run, waddle onto. So, no, I thought it was great. It was upbeat. And like you said, I don't know any of the songs, but I don't always know the halftime performer anyway. So
for sure.
Uniting the country was the message. So that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bob, do you want to talk a little bit about the cost of ads and everything that goes into the Super Bowl from a media perspective?
Yeah. So numbers came out really the last couple weeks of the costs. Generally, the average spot cost was around $8 million. The highest were around $10 million for a 30-second spot. Certainly, you saw a lot of advertisers do more than 30 seconds. Yeah. Some did 45. Some, there were a lot of 1-minute spots. So certainly spending some money. Locally here, a spot ended up being about $35,000. So, certainly not paying the 7 figures that you are on the national scale, but still expensive for local advertisers. And there's very limited inventory for local. Our advertisers were just in that third quarter break.
Yeah.
But, expectations are over 130 million people watch this. Certainly it gets a lot of play after the game as well. So there's the part during the game. I think a lot of the best advertisers do a good job of teasing ahead of time, so they're really getting their money's worth, and then of course, continuing with the campaign after the fact. If you look at it on a CPM basis, it's like $60 to $70, which is not crazy.
No, that's not bad.
We have live sports type CTV deals that we run that easily go for $60, $70 CPMs, and it isn't the Super Bowl. So it does get the viewership, it gets the mass reach, and then of course just the
buzz.
Just the buzz that goes with being in it. So is it worth it? Not for everybody. Especially when you add on the fact that a lot of these had very large production budgets to go alongside it too. But certainly there are a lot of every year advertisers that show up and feel it's worth spending that.
Yeah. That's what I always look at it. And, I don't know why everyone always asks us because we work in advertising. I'll have friends that will text me and say, we have a bet going, and how much do you think that this company paid for this talent? And I have to do the super obnoxious,
Yeah.
well, there's so many factors that go into it. And, but I always, when it comes to the Super Bowl, I'm like, it has to be mass market products. And that's where, you have to have a large audience. If it's a niche product, it doesn't make sense
Yeah. I'd also
at all to advertise to everyone.
I'd also be curious with the celebrities, how much of them, I mean, it's good exposure for them too. I mean, the Super Bowl halftime show generally, the artist does not get paid because of just the amount of publicity that they get for this. And I would have to think it's the same way that, do celebrities, I don't know that they're discounting what it costs, but,
I think
there's certainly something to be said. Yeah, there's certainly a reason to be in it.
Yeah.
And, they stay top of mind too when they're showing up in these commercials.
Yeah. So let's get into it, because there were a lot of celebrities in this year's ads. I think we saw it last year where it was kind of like, come up with a mediocre concept, throw some famous people in it, and maybe people will talk about it. I think there was a little bit of that this year. What was your favorite ad with a celebrity?
So with a celebrity, I mean, I guess it depends on if you count the celebrity. I really liked the tight ends ad.
I thought that was so good.
So again, more athletes. George Kittle, I just love in general. He's such a good personality.
Yeah.
And I think what was interesting with that, and I know I mentioned this to you before, but I kind of saw the payoff coming. And part of that is we work in healthcare a lot. We work in the prostate cancer space. And we've worked in colorectal cancer. So there are a lot of jokes you can make, and there's not always the right time to be crass like that. But I thought they did it without going too far. And there was a good message to it too about getting screened. And now there's a blood test for it. So that was Novartis that put that in there. Again, it was very, very little about the brand itself. It was really about the importance of screening. But just the comedy of it, to play off the tight end was really, really good. So I did like that one.
Tasteful and relevant.
Yeah.
I know another one that I liked that you mentioned you don't is, I really liked the TurboTax spot with Adrian Brody. And I think that that's a case where, obviously we talked a little bit before we came on camera here, but Adrian Brody, you need to know him as an actor, I think, to really understand the TurboTax spot. And I loved it because I thought it was relevant to the product. And he's always so dramatic. I think in the spot, he says, if there's no pain, there's no Adrian Brody. And that's the kind of character he's always playing. But for you thought that one fell flat. Yeah,
it just, he's not particularly somebody that I've seen a ton of movies with or anything. And I don't know. It was kind of meh. To me, it came off as a little bit of just trying too hard to be funny, but didn't really pay off and get the humor part of it. So yeah, I didn't love it, but it was fine.
That's fair. Another one, we saw multiple spots that utilized the Backstreet Boys, which was actually, fun fact, my first concert when I was like 10. So going way back. Now that the nostalgia is coming back, and it's aimed at me, it's a little hurtful. But T-Mobile. So T-Mobile launched a spot early in the game with the Backstreet Boys in it. And then Coinbase used the Backstreet Boys later on. And I had to look back this morning because when I saw Coinbase, I'm like, I feel like I already saw the Backstreet Boys. Is this another version of it? What's going on? How did you feel about, let's start with T-Mobile. They packed a lot of celebrities in there.
Yeah, so the T-Mobile one was entertaining. A lot of celebrities. You had the Backstreet Boys, again, hitting the millennials. There was Drewski in it. He's in all the T-Mobile spots. There was Machine Gun Kelly was in there. So, you had a lot packed into it. So it did seem a little bit of the, like, we need to get somebody for everybody into that. So that was certainly an interesting one. And I feel like they do a good job with their brand and their commercials in general. Like this wasn't very different from anything you've seen on a normal Sunday or any of their other commercials, but I think that's true to who they are. And, they're trying to be this very different, type of mobile company in an era where Verizon tends to dominate. And then you have, other things like Mint Mobile and stuff like that with Ryan Reynolds. So, I think they've done a good job of finding a way to stand out. And I think that spot was another example of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they were very true to their brand. But it was kind of what we're used to with them, I think. What other spots? We've got so many. We both have so many notes here that we're eager to chat about.
So I really liked the Pepsi spot with the polar bears, the choice. I thought it was good in general. I thought it took it up a notch when they played off the Coldplay concert thing and they caught them on screen at the very end. So I thought that was a good one. Obviously, they're very consistently they do go after Coca-Cola directly. They're the big brand, so they always tend to do these type of attack ads. But I thought it was a clever one to play off the polar bears, especially with all of the like negative publicity that came from them going full AI on the polar bears more recently. So I did like that one. I thought that one was funny. I know you didn't love this one as much. I really like the Jurassic Park one. I love that movie. Xfinity is not a brand that's going to stand out. And I thought they found a way to kind of bring it all in and say it was just all about the network connectivity. And, now the park's working great. And there were a lot of just like iconic shots. I love Jeff Goldblum. I think he's great. And they even like found the way to do the little laying on the couch shot, but he was, laying by the pool. Yeah. So I enjoyed that one. I thought that was a good one.
Yeah. And Craig behind the camera made a comment about the shrimp.
Yeah. Yeah.
He loved the shrimp line. So.
Yes.
A lot of throwbacks I felt like to movies or TV. So one of those that I know we both I didn't love. You seemed to like it a little more than I did. Duncan.
Yeah. It made me laugh. I love George Costanza. You had Urkel. Obviously you had Jennifer Aniston showing up in there too. So I liked Joey Tribbiani. I liked that they pulled that all in. Again, it looked very, very choppy with like it almost looked like it was deliberately trying to be bad AI.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny. And then just the line at the end with the D's nuts. With the D's nuts with Tom Brady. That was it was a great payoff. It made me laugh out loud. That was about it. Not all of them are going to make me laugh. I haven't loved their commercials in previous years. Like I thought the Dung Kings was stupid.
Yeah.
But I thought that one was funny and,
I liked it better when it was just Ben Affleck being Boston Ben.
Yeah.
And that to me was hilarious. And now I feel like they just try to find any connection they possibly can to New England and just push it into the spot. So they feel overdone to me in the past couple of years, but I did love the like Ben Boston, type of shtick that they had going when it first started.
Few others I had. So I mean, we talked a lot about humor. I think on the emotional side, which I think what's interesting is it does feel like humor is the overwhelming number of spots. So I do feel like when you get a more emotional message, it does seem to stand out a little bit more.
Yeah.
I really liked the Google, the new home one.
Yeah.
I think they always find a way to pull at the heartstrings a little in their commercials and, kind of evil tech company to something and they're talking AI, but I thought that one with, them talking about moving into a new house and designing the room and here's what the backyard can look like. I thought that was really cute and I thought that one stood out. I liked the Rocket Mortgage and Redfin one too. Like that was another one that like, it was dramatic and, I think the payoff at the end with them helping out their neighbors and stuff like that too, was it trying a little too hard? Probably. But it wasn't bad. And then I loved the NFL champion one.
That I love that. I'm in that. We're both in that stage of life too, where like the nod to the youth coaches is in what they do.
Yes.
you know, for kids is so huge. So
yes. Both
I
of us
think
coach.
that one
Yeah.
got me.
And we've all been in
those
locker
heartstrings.
rooms
Yeah.
and heard the locker room speech.
Mhm.
And, you know, watching that, it's like, I want to run through a brick wall, and I
Yeah.
haven't played a sport in years. and it was, you know,
Yeah.
Bears fan.
Mhm.
Like, there were a lot of Ben Johnson, good, better, best videos that came out this year. And same thing. Like, I loved the coach speech.
Mhm.
And I loved the idea of the kid kind of rehearsing it in his room and repeating it all on his
Yeah.
own. Like, I thought that was great.
Yeah.
So I really liked that one too.
Yeah, I thought that one was great. And then the other one that I love is Lay's.
Mhm.
They've done a
Yeah.
similar ad both years, and I think it's just so nice that they're showcasing whether it's real family or not, but it's getting across the point that they are a big conglomerate company, but that they're buying from these small farms, and this is who they're affecting. And so I thought that was a nice, authentic spot, similar to what they did last year. And I don't know that people will really talk about it much. I didn't see it in a lot of the chatter this morning. So it's one that probably people said that's nice and moved on from.
It did get, so looking at the USA ad meter, I think it was number 2 in the list.
Okay.
So it did get some good scores, at least from the general public. So that it did seem to resonate well there.
It's number 2 to Budweiser, which I know you said you felt like was a little stereotypical, but
yeah, the Budweiser one, it felt a little forced. I know it is authentic to who they are. It felt like you asked ChatGPT to like give me the most American spot ever.
Yeah.
And that's what it came up with. I do think that there were elements of it, like the shot of the eagle on the back of the horse with the wings coming out when it's jumped, like that was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it was, I don't know. It felt a little unoriginal. It was very stereotypical Budweiser, Clydesdale type, you know,
and it was
American nostalgia.
It kind of gets into when we talk about the ad meter. It was safe.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a good conversation for us to have too here, in that, you know, there a lot of brands use the Super Bowl to take a big swing, and then others go completely safe. And I think Budweiser, Lay's, those that perform really well just kind of stay safe, but they're not the ones that people are necessarily talking about a month later or cringing as they bring up. So it's always that fine balance, and I don't know the answer of what works better or what doesn't. It'll be interesting to see sales numbers for those different products as the months go on.
Yeah, and it does go back to is it going to resonate with their core audience? Yes, it will. And that's what they're doing. I don't drink Budweiser, so that's, you know, I have...
You're not their audience. That's fine.
Yeah, hipster IPAs over here. So, you know, that's not going to be what I'm going to have. But like, but I think they know who their audience is. And, you know, I think same thing with Bud Light. You know, they've kind of pulled in Post Malone and I'm blanking on the comedian right now. But you know, again.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. And then Mick Ultra, that spot, I thought it was a decent spot, but it'd been airing prior to the Super Bowl, so it didn't feel like it hit as much because I've seen it several times already. Yeah,
I think that's also there's a few of those too. Like there's benefits to the tease, but then there's also a lot that just get fully released before. And, you know, part of it is we're in the ad community, so we're going to watch some of these before. I mean, we watched that one specifically in our SMT meeting because we were watching a few of them, and, you know, they get traded around in the chat. So yeah, we had seen that one. It was okay. Yeah. You know, it wasn't anything that is going to be memorable. I know it made us go and Google and say, hey, who is the #1 beer brand now? Because it had been Bud Light forever, and it's Mick Ultra.
Yeah, we had to verify that.
Yeah. So
it's interesting. There was a lot of others that were just kind of in the middle for me too. That, you know, the one that got me, but in a weird way, was the Alexa ad. Gave me so much anxiety while it was going on, because it was like all of my fears in life they were showing on screen, and I actually was having a physical reaction to that spot. But it was a really interesting way to approach the idea and hit on that insight that people do feel very anxious about technology taking over and essentially killing us is what it was doing to Chris Pratt. Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
But yeah, how'd you feel about that?
I thought the same. I thought it was weird. So kind of the same deal. The Ring one. Like the Ring one with like, hey, we can monitor the entire neighborhood and it's with AI. And there were a lot of AI spots. And, I think we're all a little conflicted about it because I think a lot of us are like, who asked for this other than the, people who are going to make a lot of money off of it. But I think, with that, there is that fear of like it taking over and doing things. And they made it into a joke. Ring tried to do it in serious, like, we're going to use it to find pets. And it's like, yeah, but you could also, like, in the wrong hands, like that could be used in certain ways. And it also reminded me a little movie reference, but in The Dark Knight, it's kind of how they tracked the Joker was the same idea. They were kind of using everybody's cell phones to find it. So it's a little creepy. And, to kind of position it as a good thing, I think a lot of people might go, how do I turn that off on my Ring device?
Yeah, I don't
love that. Yeah.
The one that got me that I actually laughed out loud was Anthropic. And I think for us, it hits real close to home because we've been having these conversations already with clients about advertising within the GEOs and different things. So, or the LLMs and everything. So what do you think of that one?
Yeah, I mean, they're saying like, oh, we're not going to have ads, and they're hitting at, obviously ChatGPT on that. And it's yeah, sure. I don't believe that.
You're going to in a year.
You won't have it yet. It's everything kind of starts even with a little bit. And even like ChatGPT, they're very early on in the ads in terms of what they're releasing. It's really high minimums. It's like $200K to get in. They're expensive CPM, $60 CPM, so close to Super Bowl levels, just to pilot it out. So it is interesting that they're going that way because I think all of us go, yeah, sure. Yeah. That's the same thing. It was, it kind of reminded me a little of like very beginning of the football season. Anybody who watches Red Zone, commercial free. And they were like, well, we're going to have like one 15-second commercial. By the end of the year,
it's like
there were way
everywhere.
more than one 15-second commercial in an 8-hour period. So we work in the industry, but ads are going to be everywhere. If they can monetize it, they're going to do it. So Claude just hasn't figured out how to do it yet. And they tried to spin it as a benefit, but if the money's there and when push comes to shove and they have to start showing that they're profitable, because like none of these things are like generating profit yet, it'll change.
Yeah. I just love the personification of ChatGPT though, and perfect. South Park did a really good one. If you haven't seen the South Park ChatGPT episode.
I haven't.
Great. Well, as we've been rambling here for a while. So if we want to end on, what was your favorite? Give me like your top 3 favorite ads.
So I think I mentioned them. I think Pepsi, so the polar bears and the Relax Your Tight End from Novartis. I think those were probably my top 2. And then outside of that, I would probably go to the NFL, the champion spot. Those were probably my 3 favorites that I had there. That I'll kind of remember the most there.
The one that I loved that we didn't talk about at all was Manscaped.
Yeah.
So at first that one hit me and I went, ugh. And then by the end, I was actually laughing. It was very on brand for them. So I felt like that was a good example of something that went with humor, maybe pushed humor a little too far, but it was so on brand for them that it actually
it will turn a lot of people off.
Made sense.
Because I don't think people expected to see the clumps of hair in there on the Super Bowl. And it's late in the game after we're all, full of food.
What's going on here?
Yeah, it was definitely, it was interesting for them to go there. But like you said, I mean, anybody who's seen their ads, whether on TV or like I see their ads online too. And they are not shy about what that product is used for. And, and trying to stand out. And it's one way to do
effective. The other on the humor side that I really liked was Raisin Bran. I thought that was incredibly clever. And there was a lot leading up where William Shatner was walking around with Raisin Bran. People thought he was just a crazy old man walking around with his cereal before people figured it out. So I thought that that was really effective, and a good use of humor with product relevance. And then, like you, I think the NFL ad is one that just got my heartstrings, as well as the Dove female athletes one, which I think everyone on this podcast has heard me rant about more than once.
It's a message that they've gotten out there, and they continue to hit on it, but it works for them.
Yeah.
And so, another good place to put that in and get the eyeballs on that message.
Yeah. I think that overall there was some good ads, a lot of meh in there.
Yeah.
But, if these were ads that had come out at any other point in the year, we probably would have thought that they were great. It's just the bar is set so high.
Yeah. And there's so much of it. And, it's also hard to know how much of these will continue on.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. Like sometimes people just abandon. Like one of my favorite spots, I don't know if it was last year, it was the Michael Cera from the CeraVe.
The CeraVe? Yeah, that was so good.
It kills me that they did. I thought that was so hilarious. And then they just completely abandoned it afterwards. It was a Super Bowl spot and nothing else.
Yeah.
And
that was one that I don't know that they saw the immediate lift, but because they let it go, who knows how their sales and everything have gone. But
good. And that's a good point. We'll see we'll start to see over the next few months who gets a lift and who actually saw the benefits of this and did it deliver the ROI.
Yeah.
Hard to know.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Well, we'll be back, I'm sure, talking more often with Katie gone. We're going to take over, and everybody better watch out.
I know. It's only, we're approaching baby time for her.
Yes.
So.
Awesome.
All right.
Well,
thanks,
talk
Heather.
to you later. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye. I always say bye.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't, but...